let's talk about something that I think a lot of us feel, this really persistent, kind of frustrating sense that we're all just waiting for our real lives to finally get started. We're going to dig into that today, and we're going to lean on the brilliant work of psychologist Carl Jung to help us make sense of it all.
You know that feeling, right? It's not some big crisis, but this quiet hum in the background of your life. This nagging sense that something really important is missing, that the life you're living right now isn't quite it. Like you're in the waiting room, just hoping for some sign, some moment of clarity where your purpose finally walks through the door.
I mean, this phrase just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling of being a spectator to your own potential. You're not actually in your life, you're living right next to it, watching the real deal from the sidelines. And that specific kind of low-grade suffering, that's what we're going to unpack today.
And here's the thing, this isn't some new, modern problem. The great Carl Jung, he spent his entire career studying this exact feeling. And his conclusion wasn't that most of us just don't have a purpose. Oh no. It was that we are fundamentally looking for it completely backwards. Jung actually pinpointed 8 specific mistakes we tend to make in this search, 8 traps we fall into. Now, for this explainer, we're not going to list all 8. Instead, we're going to group them into 3 really big, fundamental errors that keep us stuck in that waiting room of life. All right, mistake number 1, and it's a huge one. It's all about where we're looking. We've been taught to look outside of ourselves for an answer that can only ever be found inside. We look to our careers, to what other people think is important, to all those personality tests and weekend workshops, just hoping something out there will hand us the key.
And this right here, this really gets to the heart of it. On one side, you've got the outward search. That's all about careers, or what Jung called the persona. You know, the social mask we wear to fit in. And on the other side, you have the inward journey. That's about listening to what Jung called the self, the deep, true core of who you are. It's about actually doing the work to hear the signals your own psyche's already sending you.
And this, wow, this is so important to get. You can have the perfect career, a resume that just screams success, but if that job isn't aligned with your inner self, you're still searching. You're still in the waiting room. Career and purpose can overlap, for sure, but they are not the same thing. And mistaking one for the other is a recipe for a life that looks amazing on paper, but feels completely empty inside. Okay, so that brings us to the second huge mistake. Because let's say you do start to look inward. A lot of us still get it wrong because we have no idea what we're even listening for. We're expecting this loud, dramatic lightning bolt of passion, when really we should be listening for a quiet, persistent whisper. Our culture has sold us a total bill of goods on this one. It's this myth that finding your purpose will feel like this, bam, this lightning strike, a fire of passion that just arrives and poof, all your doubts are gone and every day is effortless forever. We're all waiting for that feeling.
But the Jungian reality? Well, it's a lot quieter, and honestly, it's so much deeper. Purpose isn't a constant feeling of passion, it's a direction. It's more like a compass than a bonfire. It's that thing you just keep coming back to in your mind, even when it's hard, even when you doubt yourself, even when there are a million logical reasons to just give up on it. It's a quiet pull, not a constant flame.
And what happens when you ignore that compass for too long? Well, your psyche starts to protest. Things we might label as depression or burnout or just a lack of motivation, Jung saw as something else entirely. He called it the cry of the unlived life. It's not a chemical problem to be corrected. It's a vital signal from your true self screaming, hey, you're going the wrong way.
And this leads us to the third mistake. And you know what? This is the one that's the hardest to face. Because often, the problem isn't that we can't find our purpose. It's that we have. We can see the path laid out in front of us, and we are absolutely terrified of what it's going to ask of us.
So I want you to ask yourself this right now. If you really listen to that quiet, persistent direction, what does it require? Because a life of true meaning, it isn't free. There's a price of admission. It demands a sacrifice.
And Jung did not sugarcoat these costs. Following your purpose often requires taking a risk that you absolutely cannot control. It might demand having that terrifying, gut-wrenching conversation you've been putting off for years. And most profoundly, it often requires the death of the person you are right now to make space for the person you're meant to become. It threatens everything, your identity, your security, your whole life.
I mean, just look at this quote. Jung couldn't have been more blunt. We don't find our purpose because we are afraid of it. It's not that it's hidden. It's that we see it. We understand the incredible cost. And it's just so much easier to look away and pretend we're still searching. So when you put all of this together, it forces this massive shift in perspective. The whole idea of finding your purpose is wrong from the start. It suggests it's some treasure hunt for a thing that's been lost. But it was never lost, it was never missing.
Let me just say that again, so it really lands. Your purpose is not missing. It hasn't been hidden from you. It's already here.
But it isn't loud. It's not a shout. It's not that big Hollywood moment you were told to wait for.
What it is that quiet, persistent direction your soul keeps pointing to. The idea, the project, the path that just won't leave you alone, no matter how many times you try to talk yourself out of it.
And that means it is the work you've been avoiding. It's that inward turn you've been postponing while you keep up that endless, fruitless search for something out there.
And this, right here, is what it's all about. Jung said the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Not who your parents wanted you to be, not who society thinks you should be, the person you actually are. That's the entire point of the journey. The only question left is, when will you begin? So if this hit home for you, if you felt that little nudge, do me a favor and share this with someone you know who might be in that waiting room too. And of course, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.
Speaking of quiet things, next time we're diving into 8 behaviors that reveal deep, deep inner strength. We're going to talk about why real strength, a lot like purpose, is almost never loud and is so often found in the quiet people we might overlook. It's going to be a good one. I'll see you then.